What's up, guys? Welcome back to another season of, well, I wouldn't even say season, but another beginning year of interviews. It is 2024. We're in the future, basically. And oh my gosh, I can't believe it, bro. I really can't. Like, I can't believe we made it a whole year of interviews. You know, like, oh my God. I don't even know what to say. Just listen. Interview 107. I got the girl. How you doing? You doing
hey,
good?
I'm good. I'm
Vibing.
great.
Thank you for hopping on one. Because it's not every interview that you kind of hop or people hop on and it's like something milestone. You know what I'm saying? This is very big for me, especially because last year I devoted my whole life to do interviews, and now it's been like the whole 2023. I started at like January 2nd till the end of the year. You know, big shout out to Daniel Green for ending off the year with a beautiful interview. And I normally don't ever talk about this, but this is big, you know, like, I don't know anybody who's doing podcasts or even done a podcast and ran it for a whole year and not stop.
Yeah.
You know, I did it, you know, and I don't mean to be weird. This is your interview.
Great. No.
But this is big. I haven't been doing vlogs like that, so not many people know what's going on. So no, again, we got interview 107. The one and only girl, and I just can't believe it. You could probably tell I'm all over. How you been though? How you really been mentally?
I have been great. I mean, I've come through a lot in 2023, and I'm just really excited for the new year.
Yeah, and you just dropped a music video.
I did.
And I was asking her how to pronounce it because I mean, some people know how to say it, but it's Shekinah, right?
Shekinah.
Shekinah, and what does that stand for?
So Shekinah is best known in the esoteric Kabbalah as the sacred feminine.
Okay.
So it's like the feminine essence of God. So basically.
So you're very like spiritual.
Here on earth, I am. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that a bad way to say it?
I guess you could say that. Yeah. It's like I think in energy and vibration. So
it's not.
But
like,
people call it spiritual. People call it all sorts of things. But you know what
What do you call it? Spirit?
I mean,
being spiritual?
I call it spiritual. Sure.
Or being woke?
Sure.
I feel like it's more being.
Yeah, woke can be tricky because some people who think they so woke really aren't that woke.
Yeah, right. No, I totally agree.
I kind of veer from that word actually, but yeah, I mean, spiritual would be basically the word.
Right.
I've been seeking the Holy Grail my entire life.
Because when you hear spiritual, you think Christianity, Buddhism, and all that. So like, what do you?
Right. Yeah, and I've studied all of that. So yeah, my whole life really since I was a teenager was like, when I was a teenager, I was like, I had the Bhagavad Gita, the Bible. I was just trying to figure it all out.
Which one has been the most like interesting to you so far in your life?
Well, I mean, it's all pretty interesting. I think, but
well, like the one that stuck out the most. That kind of was like, this like, and we don't have to talk about it. I know I'm not trying to like put your beliefs on in the very beginning of the interview.
No, I love it.
But I definitely want. I'm curious, you know, and especially the music. Like I heard your music, and it was like, wow, like. I get you were spitting some bars better than most people in Charleston, but it's more of like, you know, like we talked about the frequency, what you did in the music and all that stuff, and it just makes sense. But before we even dig into that, sorry guys, I'd had to ask because I've been waiting to have her on. We actually just met not too long ago, so that just shows you how interested I was having her come on. But let's dig into the fundamentals.
Yeah.
Where are you born? Where were you born?
I was born in Charleston, South Carolina.
What part?
I'm actually from here.
Well, like, because Charleston, people say Charleston is in Somerville or anything. Where are you from?
Actually, I'm going to say this, and when I say this, y'all have to realize, first of all, my age, but say Mount Pleasant. But it was Mount Pleasant before Mount Pleasant is what we know.
Yeah, that's Charleston.
Mount Pleasant today.
Yeah, I felt like that's basically Charleston. Like, so where did you go to elementary school out there?
Elementary school, I went to Sullivan's Island briefly, and then the Hurricane Hugo happened, and I went to Whitesides.
What do you remember the most from Hurricane Hugo? Because that was like the last big hurricane we had.
I mean, what I really remember, we lost, like, my dad and his brothers had worked to, like, build us a house, and it was completely destroyed. Of course, my parents were going through a divorce back then, too, and all that, too. Right. So a lot of shit was hitting the fan at a young age. And I just remember being just, like, overwhelmed. Like, I mean, as a kid, just processing all that.
Were you nervous, though? Like, was there something that, like, kind of, like, shook you up a little bit, knowing that who knows what could happen? You know what I mean?
Oh,
Especially living on Sullivan's Island. If you guys know where Sullivan's Island is,
I didn't
it's on
live
the coast.
on the island, but I lived close to the island, and so close enough that
it'd affect you.
Yeah, I mean, the marsh was like up into our house, like at a high level.
Wow.
And, so. Yeah, besides that, with all the other things going on in my life, it was like one devastation after the other. Like,
that's how you felt? Like
as a child.
Do you want to talk about it? What was some other things you were kind of going through at that age?
Well, I mean, it was just the things going on with my mom and my dad at the time, and that was when they were like getting a divorce or they were separated. My dad there's a lot of history there. He's just, he was an active, he's active in the drug realm, you know, so. Do
you feel like that kind of like, I know I keep saying this, but I don't want to dig too deep because I've had people tell me I dig too deep sometimes or not. But do you feel like that's kind of affected you currently in your life? Like all the stuff you went through at a young age?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
How so?
I think it's the way, it's the way we're programmed, right, as a child. I mean, from the time we're like in the womb, you know, we're all energy first, and it's, you know, whatever mom's about, whatever dad's about, that's what you're programming the child with. So,
but that's energetically, you break the generational curse, though.
Absolutely.
You know, do you feel like you're on the bridge of that? I feel like you are.
Yeah,
you know, meeting you in person and stuff like that, and because I met you on social media first with your song, and shout out to the videographer Tony.
Tony!
Shout
Tony
out to
shot
Tony.
me.
He sent me your thing, and I saw it, and I didn't look at it for 2 days. No, I have that story. I can't wait. He's hopping on the podcast.
I know.
And it's just, it's crazy. But no, so like dealing with all that stuff, like how were you able to balance it at a young age? Were you like maybe doing music, or were you kind of in the realm of drawing things, or like what were you doing at that age to balance?
When I was young, like that age?
Like all the stuff you were going through, how were you? I know you're young, so you're kind of numb to it. You know what I mean? Like you don't know if it's real yet.
Yeah, no, you don't even know it. I mean, I don't think it was until like later I really realized, like, because everything's normal to you. That's why a lot of people, they don't even realize they're holding trauma within their body, or why they're unconsciously making, or subconsciously they say, making decisions. It's like, why am I looping? Why do I keep doing this? Well, it has to do with that subtle trauma in your body that you haven't.
You got to let go.
Yeah,
you know, that's all it is. Like when you learn to let go of all the stuff that you've been through, it's like rise to elevate. You know, you're gonna really rise to elevate over every equation, and you're gonna thank me one day because I was like, bro, this dude said rise to elevate and whatever, and then it's like, you know, rise to elevate really is letting go.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It's all this journey really is about in general. I think it's just let it go.
And learning how to not say certain things that you shouldn't, you know, because you got to learn how to keep things in your head. You know what I mean? I feel like there's a filter you kind of have to keep with certain things, because I'm not God. I'm not a God or anything. You know what I mean? I get what you're saying, but being realistic, like I can't come off telling you what to do in your life.
Sure, so but in your own life, you are that.
Yeah, of course. You know, I mean, we wouldn't even be alive right now. The fact that we can even think what we're gonna say before we say it is a God ability. But I just don't present 100%. That like that, you know, because it's like I don't want to come off as like I'm God. You know what I mean? I believe
you're God.
Yeah,
and I'm a goddess. So
goddess, I agree.
And we're both actually. Right. You're both God and goddess.
I totally agree. So where'd you go to middle school at? Was it still in Mount Pleasant?
No. So middle school. Oh yeah. Middle school I did. I went to no, I went to Moultrie.
Oh wow. Okay. So
and that was I don't ever wish middle school on anybody.
What were you doing?
I was just such an outcast. That was when shit kind of hit the fan as a kid. Like any friends I had, like totally decided to dog me out. And
so you were kind of technically getting like...
And then when I was going through, like I said, the things I was going through, and I was also like a poor kid amongst like a lot of kids that had a lot, you know. And so that was a factor in my life. But we had our own clique of like kids, and we were running amok pretty much.
And were you doing like sports or anything? Did you try to get anything?
I did for a while. In my youth, I did a lot of sports. I guess it's been part of my
What'd you like the most? I feel like you played tennis.
I did play tennis, softball.
I can read
Why'd you think that?
I don't know. It just seems like you know, girls. I'm not trying to be all like. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Tennis, softball, soccer, basketball. I mean, I played it. I mean, I was totally into sport. I was kind of a tomboy.
No, yeah, okay.
I ran with like of all boys. Like we lived on a dirt road, and like it was all like boys, and I was the girl, and I was oldest, so I was kind of the bossy bitch.
Hey,
that's what it was.
I felt like
I led,
always
y'all.
that girl in
That's
the
what
clique,
it was.
man. There's always that one girl that's always like the one who controls all the dudes, and it's not like a weird thing.
No, I didn't control them, that's for sure.
Well, it's like the presence is strong,
yeah.
you know?
I've always had a leadership ability.
I low-key think girls run the world. Like, I'm not trying to be weird. Like, I know it sounds crazy, but being realistic, without women, men would be nothing, you know what I mean? And women really care for everything, you know? They're our comfort, you know? Mm-hmm. So, like, I don't know, I feel like at a young age, I know I had a few girl, like, friends, you know, that I chilled with, and it was more of like, you know, you got the pleasurable part sometimes at a young age, but there's girls you meet that were like actually friends.
Yes.
Like you can bond with them. Yeah. You know, and that's what I'm saying. I know a few. Shout out to you guys. You know who you are. Because I love everybody. Mm-hmm. You know, once you learn to like flip the script of not always caring about all that other stuff, like you really meet genuine people who care about you. Yeah. You may not talk to them every day, all that, but they still think about you. So like in middle school, like did you feel like you were gonna be doing what you're doing now? Like what was your calling? Like what did you feel like your calling was?
God, in middle school, I don't think I knew anything back then. But I will say though, sorry, that's my nose. That when I was a kid, like I was always like a performer. Like I would like. We'd be at family functions or wherever, and I'd grab my cousins and I'd be like, all right, we're gonna put a show on. I'd want to choreograph it, like choreograph, sing it, dance it, hum.
Did it feel like a sign? Like when you were doing it?
I didn't think anything of it. It was just me being me. I mean, my family. I would make videos in my bedroom. I just close the door and like music was really always from a really early
what type of music?
My comfort. So that was everything. Oh my God. Well, God, we could dig into the history of that.
Let's do it. I'm all about music. I love music.
You know, I mean, like when I was little, it was like, oh my God, I was into like Debbie Gibson. If you remember,
you
don't know anything about her.
That's a Raven moment. I was like, I don't even know that. Is that what is that, Ray? Or what type of music genre is that? Oh God,
it was like pop. Michael Jackson.
Okay.
Michael Jackson.
Did you listen to Britney Spears? Because she was bad at, like not bad, but she was good.
I was
at
like not
point.
In that phase really, but I mean, I'm one of those. I'm very eclectic. I'll listen to any album and I'll get something from it. Yeah. So I don't cut anything.
Are you the type to listen to
country? Was the one thing it took me a while to get into.
I don't even know how people do it. I couldn't do that.
But vintage country is probably.
Are you the type to like listen to an album all the way through, or do you like pick through listen to one song from an album and then change the song to the next to a different album? Like with one general artist? That's a hard question.
Wait, with one general artist?
Yeah, like let's say Michael Jackson. He has 2 different albums, right? Are you gonna play all the way through for when you listen to one song? Or are you gonna play all the songs through to listen to that one song? Or are you gonna skip through and play that one song and then skip to the next album? Like for me,
depends on if I want the whole album, because there's some things that there's always going to be albums where there's like, okay, those songs were great, and then these kind of
really fillers.
Yeah, so it depends, I guess, on the album or
artist too.
Yeah, I mean, like I
just want to ask, because I'm an album dude, like Biggie Smalls. If I want to listen to one song on Biggie Smalls, I'm listening to the whole thing
because it's going to trigger like all those memories.
Yeah, I feel like story. So like in high school, where'd you go to high school? Wando?
Briefly, no, that's where the shit hit the fan, because I was just
So I felt like the whole thing you were,
but yeah, and then I started
really
playing music, and that's when I was writing. That's when I first started writing music and started playing guitar and yeah. So anyway, I think I failed my freshman year for the second time, and I was gonna drop out. I was already planning. Like,
was it just you being around the wrong people?
No, I don't want to say I was even around the wrong people. I just didn't have a home. Yeah. Like, you know, I lived on my friends' couches, and like shit at home was bad. Mm. And my dad was an active crack cocaine addict, and so like there was no like family really. My grandma was probably the most support I had. She'd let me stay when she could. Mm. So I went to an alternative high school in James Island, actually, that was fucking badass. It was an alternative school, so it was kids with problems all over the Charleston area. Yeah. You know, so I met like my family. I met people that really, yes, I could relate. Yeah. Like at Wando, I couldn't relate to a soul there. I hated it. I dreaded going every day because I was like, this just.
I just said, was there a lot of people at Wando when you went?
Yeah, a ton.
Because mine was like 3,000 every class type deal.
Yeah,
or a graduation
class. A lot. I mean, it was before they built the new one, but I just hated it. Like, If people ask me where I went to high school, I would say it's Clark Academy.
Yeah, right. You're not even telling people.
And you tell people Clark, and they're like, "Oh shit!" Like people wish they could go to Clark because it was just it was just badass. Like it was where it was.
But you had to get in trouble.
You learn life skills.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
You had to be in a lot of trouble.
How'd you feel like being labeled? I mean, not black sheep, but just kind of the outcast. How'd you feel being labeled that? I mean, I wouldn't even say labeled, but
yeah, nobody really said like, "Oh, you're a black sheep."
Well, well, it's because you're going like there was GiRL. There's a GiRL bands around here, and it's an alternative school. So if people around here said if you told them you went to GiRL bands, they're like,
no, that's at Clark. That's the same thing with cities and schools.
So how'd you feel being labeled as that though?
I just smile at it. It's like,
you didn't have any people be like you go to there or.
I think people were more envious with people that went there.
No way.
I'm not kidding. I mean, I don't know anybody that would not be because I mean it was really the cool. It was like it was the artist.
Right.
It was the real. I mean,
you're gonna walk into school at Wando. This kid's just vaping for fun. I'm trying to get in that school.
And it was super diverse too, like they because it was government funded and whatnot, like they were very specific about keeping like the equality and like
color wise
diversity, and so and just they were very particular about who came in they and then they started and then it got a little lenient. I was there at the good years. Yeah.
What do you remember?
Teachers were so unique and creative and the way they came at us and engaged us. So
what do you remember the most though? Like, is there any like memorable moments that you were like, I'm gonna remember this forever?
I
what
think
would
that
you do?
All those years there were really that.
You don't have no like pinpointed out moment, like maybe seeing someone get beat up or something
at school.
Maybe milk thrown on
we
them.
didn't have a lot of fights, but we had teachers would do crazy. We could smoke out, but they allowed us to smoke. We could smoke on the school bus. I know. I don't tell. No, they would get in trouble for that now. They don't do that now.
They definitely can't.
No, we were like before the era where the city they got the crackdown.
Wow.
Because it was just I don't know. It was just looser.
That's insane.
Well, they knew we were gonna do it anyway, and they're like, "Do we want these kids to miss out or lose out, like because they want to smoke a cigarette? Like, go let them smoke a cigarette." Not saying that's right. Smoking cigarettes.
It's still like you're making it worse sometimes.
It's just like they were this was our last chance, and they made sure that we developed in somebody. We got a lot of life skill out of it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And just even being around such different people, we became family.
So did you end up graduating from there? I'm assuming.
I did, and on time. I took some tests that helped me get there. They did put me in rehab at one point, but I agreed to it because I did tell myself if I'm going to do one thing right, I'm gonna get my diploma. I'm gonna do this. I was emancipated at 17 too. Wow. So when I was a street kid, I just.
What's some suggestions that you maybe give anybody who's maybe went through that or going through that currently?
Like a teenager maybe or something?
Yeah, just a person who's trying to emancipate. I was at that age and I was like, I'm ready to get out of here. I'm ready to be an adult. And there's probably some kids right now watching this who wouldn't want to do that. What's some advice that you would give them before they do that?
Before they would
try to emancipate themselves. Is that the right word?
Well, it's not. I mean, this was something that I think I was just talking about the other day because I was trying to remember like how this happened. But my family wasn't taking care of me anyway. My mom was doing her thing, and my dad was doing his thing. And so I was already being taken care of by like my friends' families and stuff like that. My grandma. Whomever, or myself, I was just on survival mode a lot as a youth, and which there's a lot of youth out there like that.
Well, that's why I was curious. What's some suggestions, or not even suggestions, but advice you would give to them? Because it's hard. It's lonely out here. It's a lonely world.
Yeah. What got me through was like really just trusting the journey. Like I was already on the journey. I like lost touch with it because I feel like I was more in touch with it then because. The people around me, like I really just, I was in the present moment a lot. Mm-hmm. So being present and I don't know, being willing to learn, being open, and I don't know. I mean,
just be yourself.
Just be yourself. Yeah.
Flow with life.
Flow with life. Yeah, I do. I mean, yeah, I meditate.
At that age, were you meditating? Because it's hard.
Actually, I first started being at that school. Actually, they gave me a ultimatum. Either I would go to this like outpatient rehab for a little while, or because I was doing a lot of things back then. I was eating. We were talking about. I was like eating lots of LSD, and you know, I was doing. I just anything I would try it. I would do it. Right. I was exploring, I guess, but it came to a halt when I did choose to go to the rehab, and then that was where I first did a meditation. I'll never forget that. Like what I visualized, all the things. And you know, like I said, I was always kind of a mystical even kid. Like I was searching, like I had Bhagavad Gita. I was just curious about life and like how did this happen?
Yeah, like,
I mean, at the times I was crying out to God, like, what the fuck?
Right.
Like, is this life?
I mean, you had a hurricane, you got parent stuff going on.
So
and then
much,
you got,
right?
It feels like a movie at some point, you know?
Yeah. My whole life I feel like it was like a literal movie. But yeah, I mean, I was always searching, so always open to like new things and like I've always been open.
So what was after high school?
Then I traveled. I lived out of a backpack. I was a street kid, and I didn't really have a home. I did a lot of like, I don't know if you've heard like rainbow culture. It's like a bunch of people that like basically it's like a subculture. People who live in like national forest and shit like that across the country.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, when I was traveling, I mean, I hitchhiked. I mean, I've my whole life I've been close to homeless people, who are some of the beautiful souls I've ever met, and then I've been close to, and then I've worked for Hollywood people, and so I've seen all spectrums, and those times back then, like where I was like really like on like the street, like around real people, like it taught me so much, and like that I would never take that back.
Do you feel like you found yourself during the whole experience and stuff, like during that time period? Like you were starting to find yourself, or were you still kind of like on the edge of like, what am I here for?
I think I was just on my journey, and back then like that was the 𝙄𝙑 Prophecy was one book I read when I was like 16. I don't know if you know that, but that book 𝙄𝙑 Prophecy. But it's really all about what I'm doing now. I mean, it's really just like being in the present moment and following the rabbit trail, right? Like of life, like things show up and you just go, okay, and we're gonna follow that, and then we move to the next thing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like Alice in Wonderland. Is that the one where she's
the hat or going in the thing?
Yeah. So, I don't know. It was a very powerful time in my life, and I would never recommend these days. Oh my God! If I was a mom and I had a daughter out there hitchhiking, I would never.
Especially now. I mean, not trying to be weird. I mean,
now it's like you
even
weren't more.
There wasn't no social media at your age, right? Or at
I had no phone. I had none of that. Like we were like we lived on smoke signals on the street. Like literally, it was like you thought about your friend, and you're like, where would they be right now? Or we'd ask people, have you seen so and so? Like it wasn't like pick up your phone and just like it's like we didn't.
What age did like cell phones and technology kind of like emerge? Like
in my life?
Yeah, what age?
God, I was like probably 27.
Wow,
like,
that's crazy.
Well, maybe I had a phone then, but like.
But I mean, like how it is now.
I didn't start texting until like I want to say like 27.
Yeah.
28. And that was like on those.
When they first started technology, it wasn't social media then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just like communication.
Yeah.
Like you were really on just texting.
Yeah, no, it's just like to actually like say something legit.
And now it's like.
Yeah, and now people don't even talk on the phone.
No.
I mean, I do. Like I like to talk on the phone. I will call a person any day, and if you
40 minutes. Talking for a whole hour. It'd be like, dang, I forgot what I was even supposed to be doing right now. You just but I feel like
texting is so it's so fake. Soulless too, and you don't know what people actually mean. And miscommunication, it's silly.
You could see someone put like 10 emojis in their text, and then you see them in person, they're like.
Exactly. It's not real. It's not real. It's like social media isn't real. Like all the things we see there, it's like you don't know me just because I only show you this. Like you don't really know me until you know me.
But people think that they know you.
But they think they know you. They totally do. It's ridiculous.
Hey, it's a delusional thing.
It's the delusion we were talking about. Yeah.
I love it though because it's like it's being woke. I don't think it's not doing this and being like this is here. It's straight common knowledge. Like. Bro, I feel weird because, like, I'm always on social media, but if you know me in person, I am not on it. You know what I mean?
Yes,
like, I post my stuff and I'm off. I feel bad for everybody that follows me and they want me to support back, but I have to tell them, I'm on a mission and I post a lot. Imagine if I post a lot and look at it a lot.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be like this.
God.
Ask my girlfriend right now. She would tell you it's bad. Like, you know what I mean? But hey, you go online and you see it and you see the work I put in, you know? So, but anyways, let's talk about now. I heard you earlier saying that, you know, talking about what you do presently, but what do you do presently? Can you tell everybody what you do, like the whole list of everything? Because you do a lot. You do sound bathing, you know, frequency levels, you know what I mean? And then you're an artist. You're a beautiful, talented artist. You just dropped a music video. Where do we start? Like, what else do you want to? I think we can start with, which one? Sunbathing?
Sunbathing.
Oh, I said sunbathing. Sound bathing, sorry.
Yeah, I like the sunbathe too, actually. It's very therapeutic.
I can't, man. I get too tan. I look like a Islam or something like that. Like, I just don't like it. I don't like when my skin is too dark. I didn't mean to say that.
Isn't that the opposite of everybody wants? The grass is always greener, right?
Right. That's a fact.
Anyway, so yeah, I lead sound meditation, and I lead I do sound ceremonies on the cyclical cycle throughout the months, and I also train people. So anybody out there that wants to train in sound, I
teach them how to do it.
I teach people how to lead sound meditation, and I teach them about the fundamentals. That's what Wake and Spawn is really big on. Actually, when you said that, I was like, yes. Because that's what I think everybody in life tends to like to skip over is the actual groundwork, the fundamentals.
Can you explain just a short, brief summary of the fundamentals for some people that don't know what sound? I was about to say sunbathing.
Sound work.
Yeah. Golly, I have a problem. But just the foundation of it. Can you explain it for some people?
I guess. Well, if we're talking about my integral sound
or what it could do, I just want people to kind of know what we're talking about, because I feel like
it's relatable to our energetics, right? So we're talking about energy before anything, right? It's like we're all, when we get down to it, just vibrational beings, creatures, all these things,
frequency,
all of it. So we're taking it down to that level, and it's very quantum based level. So we're dealing with energetics, breath, like the breath of life, right? So if you weren't breathing, right? I mean, the moment where you stop breathing, life is gone from our body. So it's all energy and sound. So it's sound, energy, breath. It's all relatable. They all in essence are the same thing. I mean, sound is also our breath. Sound is life. I mean, think about even the Bible, where it talks about in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. And anyway. It's talking about the sound life. Some people have the Big Bang Theory, whatever. It's the fundamental. Sound wasn't vibration.
Right.
Be anything.
Some people need to get into it though. Like if you're watching this right now and you are confused in life and you don't know where to go and you are trying to figure out what you want to do in this world, you need to come check her out and go to one of her classes and go breathe in. Do everything. Do every step she shows you. And I promise you, will come out a new person. I did it in Colorado. It was the most peacefulest thing I ever could ask. Except the dude snoring. The dude fell asleep and he was sitting in the back and was like... And she said if he was snoring, then he would kick him out. But she didn't kick nobody out. So the whole time I'm listening, but there was snoring. But I was in and out of life, I think it's beautiful to even meet someone who does this because, Charleston, you don't really hear about it that much.
It's very I mean, it's I think sound is becoming more, it's really new to the States. Mm-hmm. So in, Europe or other cultures, sound has been, it starts very indigenous. You think of drums and flutes and all the things. I mean, Andre 3000.
I was going to say, are you a big fan of that? Did you like it?
Huge.
Which one was your favorite?
Andre 3000 just happens to be one of my biggest influences from when I was young. Mm-hmm. So... just have him come out right before I drop Shekinah with the he's out playing the flute, and I have a friend that comes and plays the flute with me too. But and it's and sound, and Shekinah's also sound healing. It's tuned in 432, and it also has a frequency entrainment on it to open up your energetic field. So when he dropped that right before I dropped Shekinah, I'm like, okay, I couldn't be any more. That's just confirmation. I'm in such alignment with where I'm going with
Right.
this.
That's
You know
definitely
what I mean?
energy talking though.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
100%.
Because I don't think anybody knew Andre 3000 was dropping like the
Yeah.
way he did. You
Yeah.
know, I think some
I
people
love
thought
it.
it was going to be rap. They thought it was going to be, you know, and then like hearing your music and the music video kind of sparked it up more.
Yeah.
Not saying the song isn't good, but it's like just seeing how you were doing your dance with the girls and like
Yes, yeah,
I knew
yeah.
it was something feminine related, but I just didn't want to come off like I knew it. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So it's definitely like
Yeah.
good job on
Yeah,
that and the
thank
whole
you.
thing. And what songs have you done before that? Like, have you done anything? Like, what,
Yeah.
you know, can you explain to some people
Yeah.
that may not know?
So yeah, I mean, back in I guess my later 20s, I've always worked with youth because I did come up the way I did. I like in my early 20s started working with at-risk youth. So we worked with them through like art and sound and music and that sort of thing. And so, you know, where do I go? So I actually came into like I used to put on rap event, like hip hop events and stuff
Like
for
locally
people.
or in Charleston?
Yeah, in Charleston. But like I would be trying to pull people from other places because here I didn't know where I really did. It wasn't like a thing like it is today.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's really massive, but where we've come in the hip hop culture here.
Especially here.
Yeah, because everybody's so separated. Charleston's always had this
Still kinda
thing
is,
of
though.
separation.
Still
Like
kinda
everybody's just kind of in their spot, and like you know. But it's unifying. It's coming.
It's getting
it's
there.
unifying now.
I think
it's getting there.
I think it's only getting unified because we're talking about it.
Yeah, because we're doing it.
You know, and there's going to be people that they hate that they said that,
Right.
but that we needed to hear that.
Right.
I bet I'm one of them because people see me say like Charleston, this is not it.
Yeah, yeah.
We're not doing good, but that's because I'm in the limelight. I don't care what anybody says. I know what Rise Elevate is. We're pretty well known around here by now. You know what I mean? And I want people to know one thing: love. If you know anything about Rise Elevate, it is love. If you know anything about me or anything, it's love. Like I always just want to give out love. So even your music though, like I know you were saying you made music previously, but did you drop any like music videos before this or anything?
Yeah, I have one music video I had out. It is still out. It's "Prove Me Wrong." That's the name of the song.
How long ago was that?
This was about 12 years ago now.
Wow.
Yeah. So and I was in San Diego. So most of my time I spent in the hip hop scene was in San Diego.
When did you go there?
So I moved there in my later 20s, and I was there I was there for about 8 years.
Wow.
And,
was it enjoyable? Like something?
Oh, I loved it. Yeah. I mean, it was just what I needed in life at the time. It was my flow. That's where I ended up, and then music was that was a big part of my experience and expansion in life out there at the time was like coming, you know, like just exploring the scene and like myself, like artistically. You know, I would rap with people would ask me. I had so many people when I started rapping, and people would see me like everybody wants to collab, right, or do something, and like you know, at first I was like, I'm not gonna. I remember seeing like people. I'm like, I would never rap with that guy because I didn't like his style, anything about it. But then he asked me, and then I was like, okay, let's try. Let's try because it pushed me to try something new with different beats, with different tones, with somebody. Like now I gotta. You know, but it actually, I saw it kind of bring softness out of like this one person in particular I'm thinking of, you know, like because we did like something that was based in like a broken heart kind of thing, you know, relationships and broken heart. And so we did a song about that, and it ended up being like people loved it. And he ended up loving it, but he was always doing like hard, like he was just
trying to be too much.
Oh, he was just, I mean, he was good, but he was just like so negative. Just so negative. And you know, and here I am like wanting to be like you know, I was just misconscious, you know, like and wanting to spread love.
I feel like it's just more of learning. You know, you're learning.
Yeah.
Like I think you're not afraid to step into something that you know you may fail in or not. You know, because if you already know what something's going to happen, then you shouldn't do it. But what happens if you do it? You don't know the outcome.
Right.
I think that's my favorite part of living on this planet is knowing that anything you do, there could be a pro and a con. It's what you make out of it that matters. You know. Because you could be so dwelled on the con that it's like your pros are actually really good.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you got the best pros that anybody's have ever could have, especially mindset. If your mindset isn't the best pro you have, then you need to fix it. because that's the only way you're going to be happy.
That's where it all goes down, is right here.
Yeah.
And we only limit ourselves. We're the ones that are responsible for any limitations. And people love to project and put their limitations on you too, and judge you, and hate on you.
But that's what social media has done. Like they think they can go and look at your stuff on social media, and they will instantly start judging you.
Judge it, immediately. And they know nothing about you. Nothing. They're not even open to even knowing about you or what's actually happened, like in this person's life, or what made them. Just anything. It's mind-boggling. But on the flip side, I've experienced, these days, I feel like I experience way more people who are open to learning more. Just overwhelming.
It's what you attract. It took me. I had a few people tell me that, and it was hard for me to learn that because I've always surrounded myself with good people. But at the same time, it's really true. What you want to surround yourself with people is what you're gonna get.
Yeah, and it's always good to check. Like, what are you surrounding yourself with? Because that's a reflection of you.
I agree.
You better check it. Y'all go check your friends.
Yeah.
Who are you working with? Who are you hanging out with? Because that is a reflection of you.
Who are you getting your energy from?
Exactly. Because that's the thing is, like, just even sitting here right now, it's like we're in each other's energy fields right now. It's like, so those are things to be mindful of, be conscious of. Like, for me, I think in energy all the time. Not everybody does, but sometimes I have to remember. Okay, we got to remember. I have to be able to sift through the different levels or dimensions of life to sit with people and be in their space with them. Yeah, because some people just aren't there.
No. And you gotta, I wouldn't say level down, but it's kind of like...
Yeah, you just have to be aware.
You just
gotta be aware. And it's not, we don't have to settle down or diminish ourselves.
What's some advice you would give anybody on, like, having to not be able to be themselves, like, or the
in office?
Yeah, like, how do you, what's something you could tell them to kind of, find themselves?
Well, this is what I love, because this is what, like, Awaken Spawn is all about, because it's really about expression and sound. The sound work is all about taking you within yourself so you can become more whole, become more sovereign, like actually sit with yourself. Like, how do you really feel about something? How do you really think about that? Or are you just like regurgitating what other people are doing? You know what I mean?
It's a delusional thing.
I just want to act like that looks cool, so I'm going to do that. Yeah. Like, it's like, okay, but how do you actually feel? It's just, the trick to that is really being able to sit with yourself, I think, and really feel. And feeling comes, like we were talking about, like, a lot, for me, it's like I got rid of substances out of my life, like the alcohol, the things, like I stripped myself down naked, basically, so I could actually feel and, like, become aware of why I feel the way I feel when things are hitting me or when this is showing up.
And know what's real.
Right.
Because there's moments where it's like things happen and you're like, is this real? But now that you stripped yourself all the way down, it's like, that's real. That's negative. Yeah. That's positive.
A lot of people that are kind of come into my space too are like people who are, either on that, like they're wanting to kind of lean towards like getting clean out and like really getting tuned in, or, transformation. I call it transformation. It's transformational work. Because that's what we're doing. That's what's life. If there's anything I've found in my experience, is it's constant death over and over to your ego. Ego being the like constructs of the mind, the mental space, and serving the soul more, because that's what we're here to fucking do.
Yeah, no, we're not here to get, don't get me wrong, there's no wrong with being big or getting money or driving the best car.
That's all part of it.
Yeah,
it's all part of it.
That should not be your main focus, bro. God. So when people tell me like money is their number one thing, I'm like, all right, I gotta stay away from them. You know what I mean? Because it shouldn't be, bro. And honestly, this is me. Love, family, money.
Yeah.
Like, that's really it. Like, my love for people, that's all that matters the most, And then my family, right?
100%.
And then the third thing is money, because it's like, that should be last. And there's more, obviously, but it's more of like just being realistic with it.
But I think when we get into the heart space more, it's like, for me, and that's where like I'm sharing from with music nowadays, is like, I'm just gonna be 100% myself, and but like I'm more myself now than I've ever been, because I've grown in, expanded and grown into myself that much more, into my soul self. So I really don't give a fuck anymore. It's like but it's that much more that I'm like, I'm just gonna be myself. And I don't care what people think, I know,
That leads us to the next question now. Oh, no, go ahead. You said you'll be here when?
No, I don't know what.
My bad. I was just leading into the next one. I was going to ask, how do you always be yourself when you wake up?
How do I just be myself? I just be myself. I don't know.
My favorite question.
I mean, gosh, how do I be myself other than just be myself?
Everybody's like confused when I ask them.
Because it is kind of like okay, well, how do I actually do that? It's so normal to me now.
I don't even.
I mean, I feel like I teach people, I help people, and I teach a lot about sovereignty and like learning how to think for yourself, learning how to feel for yourself, like, because this is how we heal. This is self-healing. Like, therapy is for the birds sometimes. Like cognitive therapy, it can help us do certain things, and it helped me when I got kick-started on my journey. But to empower people to be able to go within themselves and like, be able to decipher things is like the key. Because I mean, think like kids on the street. We were talking about like, kids that are like having a hard time. They're only gonna learn from going in their cells. Like it's a lot. You don't have those people there all the time, or those things, or they'll show up though.
Yeah.
For me, it was always like I always had a connection to God, to Source in some way, and I think for me that's really everything. Knowing there's something beyond this physical body's physical reality that
It's powerful.
Yeah.
I think it's bigger. I know I say this all the time too, but it's bigger than us.
So much bigger.
Like,
it's so
there's millions of us on the world. You know how energy is probably shifted every day. Just going to simple transaction or transition or whatever it is, going into the gas station. You interacting with the person who you give the money to pump your gas or whatever. Yeah. Like you get an energy from them, Yeah,
and it's all the mirror. It's a reflection of you. Everything is you. You or me, I'm you. I say that in the song.
Yeah.
But it's like,
killed that song.
And the very end, what did I say? It's
I just remember the ending, y'all were dancing, and then it went down, and it matched the ending of the song. Tony did a good job on that music video. He really did. I liked it. I felt like y'all's collaboration really fit perfect, because I've never seen any of Tony's work, but now I know where his vision is, and I feel like yours and music matched his, So where can we find you on social media?
So you can find me at what is it? Instagram, awaken_Sponda, and then also there's at Creatrix Girl, which is my artist page that I'm kicking off.
Okay, you got YouTube?
I also have YouTube. It's Awaken Sponda. I have TikTok, Creatrix Girl, and then I have a website you can go to and find all my stuff. I got a retreat next year. I got I got sound trainings next year, and I do ceremonies all the time. So www.awakensponda.com.
And maybe the next interview we have, or we might be able to do something spicy. I love doing different stuff. I can't have like the same type of thing every time, because I want you to come back. I don't know if you know, I bring everybody back every 7 to 6 months, and we catch up. Just see what you're doing, what you had going on, if you've progressed, if you degressed. Is that the word? I don't know. But no, I just think it's beautiful. I'm glad to finally have you on. We were talking about this at Lo-Fi Brewery, and it's just like, it's amazing. It really is, and I'm just excited to see your future. This was probably longer than what it was supposed to be, but I don't care. I feel like it was a good conversation. I want people to know your background, who you are, where you're from, the fundamentals of you, so that the next interview, it's like, if you don't know, then go to the last interview. This is about her new music. Anything else that you got going on. So that's the vision is crazy, and I feel like your vision. New music
to come.
Yeah, new music. Do you have anything in the works you want to talk about real quick?
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I'm being a little mysterious about it right now. I am working. I'm working with a local DJ though, and it's just.
That's it.
We're just gonna continue the girl thing.
I love it.
More to come next year.
I feel like
2024. I've been waiting for that.
You know how some rappers be like they should hold on to certain things and all that. I feel like with you're the only one I've met where it's like you should do that. You know what I mean? Because it's like I don't even want to know what you got next. Like even if and I'm not just being open-minded. Even if it doesn't match what you just did before, it's like it's still cool to see you grow. You're still going, and you have amazing talent. Like that song is beautiful. If you guys don't know, go check out our Instagram right now. It's in the description.
Follow me on Spotify. That's
that too.
Play it, stream it,
put it on a
GiRL,
right? G-I capital or lowercase
I capital R capital L.
Yeah, I saw it.
GiRL, Shekinah. Put it on the playlist.
Put it on. I got it on mine. But remember, guys, stay true to yourself, and the only way to achieve your dreams is through you. No one else. You got to get up every single day, and you got to grind harder than me. You got to grind harder than her, and you got to grind harder than yourself yesterday. So, Interview 107. Peace, guys.